Okay, so this was a sample test from 2023, so just 2 years ago. So then it gives you a good idea of the type of questions you'll see. One of the tables below show information about linear relation between distance and time. Which of the table shows this relation? So the key here, linear relation, which means that so this is your x value, this is your y value, which means it's going up by the same amount. So going up your y value up or down by the same amount. Okay, so you're not looking for a pattern, you're looking for the one that goes up or down by the same amount. So when you subtract this and this, you'll see that it's not the same. This is 3, that's 2, this is 5, that's 4. And then if you subtract here and here, you'll see that the difference between that right here is 3, is by 3s. So this one will be your answer. Okay. Exponents. So remember exponents, when you multiply, you add the exponents, and when you divide, you subtract the exponents. So I want 10. Okay, so 5 plus something, subtract 2, gives you 10. So 5 plus 7. Right? So 5 plus 7 gives you 12. 12 minus 2 gives you the 10 right here. So this value right here. So you see it's a drop-down menu. So when you click on that drop-down menu, it will give you choices. You select the 7. Same with the y. So 4 plus the 3 is 7. 7 minus 2, you get 5. So for the triangle, it's 5. Okay, and then number 3, guess what? Box plot. Alright, that's why we go over it. Parking ticket issued for the month, over 10 months. What is the difference between the maximum number of tickets issued and the median? Okay, so maximum is this one, which is 33. And the median, we know, is Q2, which is this number right here. So it's 17. Oh, you missed quite a bit. Okay, so 33 minus 17, you get 16 as your answer. Right? We're working on the package. We just talked about the whole EQAO format. So I'll show you in there. Okay. This one right here, you will definitely see this type of question on EQAO because it's been on EQAO every single year. Remember, figure 1. Is that your y-intercept? Is figure 1 your y-intercept? So in y equals mx plus b, is this your b value? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 here, 5, 10, 12 here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15. So for y equals mx plus b, does that mean my b is figure 1? Who says yes, my b is 9? Who says no, my b is not 9? Good, okay, because remember, this is always, I don't know why they trick you guys like this, but your b is figure 0. So remember, you always have to go back one more step. So if you follow the pattern right here, what would the value of b be? 6. That's right. Okay. So in this case, y equals 3x plus 6. Okay. And so this will be your answer. Okay. And not this one. Okay. So be very careful with this question. I've seen it every year, this one. So remember figure 0. You have to go back one more row. Okay. Finance. Alright, so Fan gets a loan. Okay, so it's a loan. You're borrowing money to buy a new computer. His choice will either increase or decrease the total amount of interest paid. So choose whether the scenario will increase or decrease for each choice. Okay, choose not to make a down payment on the computer. So if you don't make a down payment, does it increase the interest paid on the loan or does it decrease the interest paid on the loan? Vincent, what do you think? If you don't put a down payment, increases. That's right. If you choose interest rate that compounds weekly versus monthly, so the interest rate you charge weekly, you charge interest weekly rather than monthly. Does that increase the amount you have to pay or decrease? Clear? Increase. And then what if you choose a shorter repayment time for the loan? So instead of paying off that computer in 1 year, you decided to pay it off in 1 month. Does it increase or decrease the interest? Is it? Decrease. Right. All right. And for this question, for this question, you don't need the compound interest formula. You don't need the simple interest formula. It's just common sense. Pay it off sooner, less interest. Don't put a down payment, more interest. Right? Which value of x makes this equation true? So algebra, remember how to solve it? Letters to the left, and then numbers to the right. And whenever you move it, remember to change the sign. So 5x minus 3x, since we moved the 3x over, and then 9 plus 1, since we moved that negative 1 over. So then you get 2x equals 10. Last step, divide by 2, so x equals 5. There you go. Okay, so these 6 questions took me 7 minutes to do. So technically, since there's 27 questions on the first session A, you should be able to finish the session A in 30 minutes, but we give you an hour, so that's already more than enough time. Okay. But again, no rush. Okay, this pentagon-based pyramid and this pentagon-based prism have the same volume and their base have the same area. Complete the statement. So if you paid attention in class, we talked about this a lot. Okay, what's the connection between volume of a pyramid and a prism? What's the connection between? Genevieve, do you remember? Volume between a prism and a pyramid is by what factor? 3. Yeah, that's right. All right. So complete the statement about the height of the prism. The height of the prism is triple. All right. So the key numbers between prism and pyramid is 3. Okay, and this goes for all the shapes. Okay. Okay, coding. So you guys were asking me about coding. Are we gonna have coding? Why do we have coding? Because they decided to put it in EQAO. So here's a coding problem right here. So enter the first number, enter the second number. If second number is equals 0, then when you divide it, output the result. Okay, so if you want, okay, give it some numbers, random number to test it out. So Uveen, what's your favorite number? Sorry? 7? Alright, so let's say the first number she chose is 7. Alright, and then the second number, let's say 0. So when you divide it, what's 7 divided by 0? And you can use calculator. What's 7 divided by 0? Undefined. So not 0, but you get undefined. You get an error. Alright, so which one of these gives you the error? They may divide by 0 to cause an error to prevent the. Okay, so what's the purpose of this if else statement right here? Is to prevent an error. Okay? Because when you divide anything by 0, when the denominator is 0, it's undefined. Okay. Number 9, drag and drop. So drag and drop the missing values, so they're ordered from least to greatest. So least to greatest. So negative 1/2 is 50%, or negative 0.5. Right? Oh, okay. I was saying because there's 4 choices, 3 blocks. Right? So this one, negative 20%, that goes here because that's negative 0.2. Right? That means this negative 4 should go over here because it's the least. Since there's no blocks, we just leave it. Right? 0.4. And then 60% as a decimal, that's 0.6. And then, so the greatest will be this. 4 divided by 3 is 1.3. Okay, so if you did these already, that's great. If you haven't, make sure you're copying this down. I am checking tomorrow. Okay. Oh, Andrew, do you have this package? Okay, here you go. Okay. Do you have a pencil? Number 10, an environmental club at school develops a plan to increase the amount of recycling and decrease the amount of garbage that is collected at school. What information is not required to develop the club's plan? So this is what beginning of this chapter where we talked about like sampling and collecting data. So which one is not required? Uveen, what do you think? So we want to increase recycling and decrease garbage. Uh, the amount of garbage. So increase the amount of that. Uh, Claire, is that what you got as well? Okay, location and number of recycle bin. What about Vincent? What did you choose? You chose the number of classroom in the school. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay, so let me read the question again. An environmental club at school develops a plan to increase the amount of recycling and decrease the amount of garbage that is collected at school. What information is not required to develop the plan? All right, so you want to know how much garbage is there usually. You want to know how much garbage is recycle is there usually. Um, yeah, I would say either this or this. It's kind of 50-50. Who chose the third one? Number of classroom. Who chose the fourth one? Location. Alright, so I would say I would choose this one. Okay, because knowing the number of classroom, it doesn't like it's not necessarily mean that you'll have a recycle bin in every classroom. But if you know this already, then it kind of implies this, right? Okay, so if let's say the location and number of recycle bin is only 5 for the whole school, if you find this out, then it's better than knowing that there's 50 classrooms. Okay. Which 2 points can be found on the region divided by this? Oh, this is a tricky question that we've seen recently. Okay. So if you were to graph this, so my like big brains in the class. if you were to graph this x times y less than -3, what type of graph is that? Is that a line graph? Is that any idea what type of graph you'll get? Will you get a curve? There's a special name for this. Suhan, do you know the type of graph? Is it a parabola? Is it a hyperbola? So yeah, you actually do these graphs in grade 11. Alright, so in grade 11, you'll see that is a hyperbola graph, which is like, it's a weird looking graph that looks like something like this. Yeah, it's a weird looking graph. And so for this one right here, so they don't expect you to draw it. So in grade 9, the only skill that you know from these type of graph is algebra. So what you do is you sub in the 2 and -5. So for example, the first point, what do you get? You get -10. Is that less than -3? Yep. So I circle it. Yep. So that's right. Oh, sorry. Check mark. Oh yeah, by the way, on the EQAO, it will have these questions where it asks you to circle 2, select 2. So make sure you select 2, because if you select 1, when you try to submit it, it will say that your question is incomplete. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting to that. So then -2 and 5, when you multiply that, you also get -10. And so it's, yep, this one as well. All right. If let's say you try these ones and you also get, all right, it won't allow you to check off the third one. All right, so that's a good thing, the only good thing. All right, so since it says 2 points, you selected the 2, we're done the question, we move on. It is. Yeah, this is what you missed at the beginning. Okay, so circle properties. What's this angle right here? Yep, 90, because it's the one of the properties that we learned. So if this is 90, this is 40, 180 minus 90 minus 40, you know that it means that third angle right there is 50 degrees. Okay, so far nice and easy. Okay. More number sense. So this was chapter 1. Right? What is the value when you multiply that? So what's my very first step? If you recall back to September, what's my first step? Yep. Change it to improper. Right. So 2 and 1/4. Oops, sorry. Let me write that. Let me write that a little bigger. So 2 and 1/4, you want to multiply and then add. Right? So 4 times 2, 8. 8 plus 9, 8 plus 1, 9. So 9/4. Remember, your denominator stays the same. And then times 5 times 3, 15, plus 2, 17/5. After you change it to an improper fraction, now you can multiply across. So now you multiply across. So 19 times 9 times 17, 153/20. Okay. Notice it's back into mixed number form. So when you divide it, 153 divided by 20, you get 7.65. So even I don't even need to write the actual mixed number, because looking at my choice, this is the only one that is 7 point something. So then that way I know already is that. For the sake of the final exam, though, do you think you need to know how to change it back to a mixed number? Yeah. So let's do it for the sake of the reviewing for the exam. Okay. 7 whole. So that means 20 times 7 is 140. So when you subtract it, you get 13 remaining. So your whole number is 7, and then 13 over 20. Right? So again, if it's just multiple choice, just do this on the calculator. You will find out your answer. But on the final exam, you do have to know how to go from here to here. Okay, last one in stage 1. Tatum and Riley are both running along the same path. The graph represents their distance from the school in kilometer and their time spent running T in minutes. After how many minutes of running will Tatum and Riley be in the same distance from the school? Right, so which is the intersection point right here. All right, and it is 20 minutes. All right, so extension to this. What have I asked? Who started off farther away from school? Riley or Tatum? Vincent? Tatum, because he started off 10 kilometers away from school. Who ran faster? Tatum or Riley? Who ran faster? Avian? Tatum. How do you know? Yeah, what about the line? If you compare the two lines, how do you know that Tatum is much faster? Steeper, excellent. Okay, so remember, steeper the line, the faster. The steeper the line, the faster they are. Okay. So even though Tatum started off further away from school because he was going faster, it seems like he's going to get back to school earlier. Okay. Riley is taking her time. Okay, so after 14 questions, this is end of stage 1. How long roughly should this have taken you? Is it an hour? Is it 2 hours? How long should this stage 1 have taken you? Okay, I won't ask Uveen because she wasn't here at the beginning to hear the breakdown. All right, Eric, 30 minutes. Good. Okay, so stage 1 should take you roughly 30 minutes. And then you click submit, and then it will say start stage 2. And that's that. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys to work on stage 2 in class, and then for homework, I'm gonna ask you guys to do the 2022 one. All right. As I said, I'm gonna assign a lot more homework this this week. Okay, so up to page 10. Okay, so up to this right here. Okay, so up to here on page 10. All right. So you're doing half of the stage in class right now, and then you're doing one at home today. Okay, so up to page 10, for homework. And I am checking homework tomorrow.